It's one of the most rewarding and cool little niches in retro game collecting, but it can also be one of the most frustrating. We're going to talk today about big box PC collecting. Hey guys, it's Doug from It's All Doug in Games, and today we're talking big box PC collecting. You know, this past weekend, I was out at Retro World Expo in Hartford, Connecticut. It is one of the coolest retro game conventions in the country. We'll have a whole report of my time at that show on a future episode, but I bring it up because during my time at that show, I ran into something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. I saw in the wild a copy of Ultima IV Ascension, the Dragon Edition, and it is this giant, humongous, big box collection of stuff associated with Ultima IX. Now, I realize Ultima IX, probably the most maligned standalone Ultima of the whole series. It's the final game in the series, but nonetheless, if you are a devout fan of the Ultima series, of Richard Garriott's body of work, Origin Systems, this is the kind of thing that makes you all excited and tingly inside when you see it. They didn't make a whole hell of a lot of these. So when I went and I saw this at that vendor table, I got excited, enthusiastic, and before I knew it, my wallet was out, cash spread all over the table, and I said, "Sold American, buddy." And I broke the first rule of big box PC collecting, and that is check to see if everything's in it. For goodness sakes, that's what you're supposed to do. And you know what? Despite having been in this game for 30 years, I always find myself, before you know it, getting so excited about something that I forget the number one rule. I brought it home, I went through my pickups, and sure enough, it was missing a piece. The Ultima IX Ascension Dragon Edition has all sorts of things: cloth maps, books, posters, the media, all that good stuff, and it has also a little metal ankh. And sure enough, my copy was missing the little metal ankh. Big box PC collecting is different because it reflects a time that was different for gaming and computer gaming. Back in the 80s, people were expecting and conditioned to tactile experiences. This was the first generation of computerized entertainment, and at the time, it was competing directly with board games, tabletop games, and other sorts of tactile media and entertainment forms. Everything from Lincoln Logs to card games, you name it. So people needed that sort of experience. They weren't ready for something that would come decades later, a world where a video game or a computer game was literally just a plastic jewel case and a disc, in a world we're moving to where you don't even get that anymore. You go to the store and you buy a little plastic card with a code on it to download. These were different times. This was the expectation that the public had for their computer and video game entertainment. And for what it's worth, I am nostalgic for it. It was an amazing time, and it was an amazing experience. But the lament of the big box PC computer game collector today is that it's so gosh darn difficult to find one of these things in the wild with all the little bits and pieces included. They just get lost. Someone threw away the warranty card. They lost the little coin or the trinket or the dice or the ankh in the sofa. And once it's lost in the sofa, you're never seeing again. It's just literally gone. It disappears into a parallel universe. And so it makes it very difficult for collectors to get these things. Ultimately, Ultima, I get it. You have to buy multiple copies of a game or find them in the wild to piece together that perfect, complete copy. You know, I can think of a few examples of games where I've had this come up for me over the years. I'm an Ultima fan, so off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Ultima IV, which also had a little metal ankh inside that was always missing. Ultima V had a little silver coin that was almost always missing. And forget Ultima for a second. The other big game from that era were the Infocom text adventure games. What made them particularly unique was they were all about these amazing feelies. The term feelie is what they refer to as all the little bits and pieces that weren't necessary to play the game. All you really need was the floppy disks in your imagination, but again, part of that amazing immersive tactile experience. I can't tell you how many Infocom games I've got sitting on my shelf that I've picked up over the years at the yard sale, estate sale, flea market that are are missing one piece or two pieces here and there. Look, I may never finish my Infocom collection, and a lot of the people in the scene feel the same way. We love collecting, we love finding these things. But again, it's getting harder and harder, folks, every single year. And so that kind of leads me to almost a personal appeal to folks that might be of a younger generation watching this and enjoying my little rants and raves about retro game collecting. You know what? You go out and you're hunting for things. There's a lot of things I think everyone is looking for. You've got your console games. You've got your games from your favorite system, your extra systems, parts. These are fun to hunt. You find them cheap. You can make a few bucks selling them, and it funds your collection. There's no shame in the game. I do it. We all do it. It's great. It's fun. Again, it helps fund your hobby. All I'm asking, when you're out there hunting, learn a little bit more about PC big box games, even if they're not your cup of tea. Because here's the thing. If you find that little bit, if you find an Ultima V coin on grandma's card table at that yard sale, consider picking it up. Give her a quarter for it. Because you know what? Folks like me in my age group, we're willing to pay you fair market value. We understand supply and demand. So we all win. We just want to get these little bits and pieces back into circulation because they're getting rarer and rarer each day. So that's my personal plea. Now, I'd love to hear in the comments, if you're a big box PC collector, what's your white whale? What's your little piece that always seems to get away for a game you're interested in? What's a game you're afraid to hunt because you know that you're never going to find a complete one out in the wild? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject. Please consider liking and subscribing if you find my wacky little antics amusing. And as always, we'll see you next time on It's All Dug in Games.